Hi guys, Angie Beth, my fairy treasures. Okay, let me make sure that I am in frame here. Let's see if we want to come down a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. I can bring that up a little bit. Alrighty, we are in frame. Okay, and you guys, what I'm going to do is, when I film this, I was able in YouTube editor to turn it around so that it looks like this when you guys are looking at it, okay? And lately, the YouTube editor hasn't been working for me able to turn my work around. So I will work this way, but when I'm done, I'll turn it around and show you guys your way. And if I am able to turn this around in the YouTube editor, when I turn it around to show you the right way, it'll be the wrong way. But most of the video will be the right way. Hopefully that makes sense, you guys, okay? Until YouTube gets it together with their YouTube editor. I don't know what the deal is. They canceled the YouTube editor, but they brought back a little part of it that allows you to like turn your film around and brighten up your video. So a few things. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so last time we left off on these flowers. I did that color combination for you. So we're going to do this color combination here, which I just thought of the other day. And so what it's going to be is in the middle, it's going to be mulberry, and then we're going to come out from there with processed red. I do not know why I have not been using this processed red. I don't know why they call it processed red. It's like the most like hot, pinky, beautiful color. I do not know why I have not been using that processed red. Oh, you know, also let me come in just a little bit. We're working right there so you can see really well. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm going to turn my work a little bit. In fact, I'm going to take it off of here. And then that way I can... And you know what? I almost wonder if it'll even matter if I try to turn this around or not, because I turn my work constantly. So I don't even know if it matters that I turn my work anyway. Turn it around in the video, so... I'm always turning my work around. Okay, I kind of went a little bit far right, oops, right here. And I told you, that's the beautiful thing about pencils. You can erase. Okay, and then we're going to take the, okay, so that was the mulberry. Now we're going to take the processed red, go over the mulberry, and come out with the processed red. You want to leave, right here, you want to leave a little space at the top for your highlight. Same thing here, you want to leave a little space at the top for the highlight. Okay, I'm going to go back to these, to the mulberry and just deepen that up a little bit more. Okay, and then let's go back to the processed red and deepen that up a little bit. And we're just going with a light medium pressure. Not just light, but light medium. Okay, so see how I left a little space there on top? That's where my highlight's going to go. And we're going to use this pink color. It's, what is it? It's just pink. Oh, and I'm using Prismacolors. And I'm also pulling up a little bit of that processed red. Like I said, I don't know why they call it processed red. It's like a hot pinky color. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Okay, and then let's take our blender and blend all this together. Okay, I'm blending all the way up into where the processed red ends, and I'm not going into that light pink because it'll just turn it completely pink, and we want to leave our highlight there. So wipe off your pencil on a piece of paper, and you can now go over just the light pink into the processed red a little bit more, but do it separately. And then just because you lose a little bit of your highlight, take your white pencil and just kind of go over the tips of it just a little bit, just to add a little more of a highlight back there. And I think that looks good. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so let's keep going. We'll do the mulberry again because we have this whole flower to do here. Okay. And then we'll take our processed red and go right into that mulberry a little bit and then come out with the processed red. So you want to mix those two together. Get yourself a nice mix so they blend into each other. Leave a little room at the top for your highlight. And I'm going to go back in with the mulberry and just deepen this a little bit more with a light medium pressure. And then now deepen a little bit more. And the reason that you don't go in super, super hard is because you get a wax bloom buildup right away. And you want to make sure that you can blend everything together. And if you get too heavy-handed, then you get your wax bloom and you won't be able to blend all these colors. So make sure I'm still, yeah, you guys are seeing everything. Good. Okay, and then let's take our blender pencil. If you don't know what a blender pencil is, you get these at they're called blender pencils, and you can get them at Michael's, and you get two for like $5, but you can use a coupon. You can also get them at Blick's for like about $2 a piece, and they don't come like this. The pencil looks like this, but this is what it looks like when it's a nub. But this is a pencil extender, you guys. This is insanely awesome. So it extends the life of your pencil. So when your pencils get like that small, you can still keep using them. So you can get way more out of your money. So you can use it for your colored pencils or whatever. So I need to pick myself up a few more of these extenders. So I'm gonna be looking. I'm gonna go to Michael's or Blick's and buy myself some more of those. Okay, anyway, so let's take our blender and blend everything together, stopping at the pink. You know what? I didn't finish up over here. See that little bit right there? Which is fine. I just blended it up and we'll add a little pink. There we go. Okay, so let's add a little pink here at the top, real lightly. You know, real lightly with the pink. No need to be heavy-handed with that pink. And then blend it a little bit, and let's add a little white at the top, right over that pink, to lighten that pink up just a little bit more, throw a little bit more highlights in. That looks good. And then there's this part of the flower right here that's behind it, so we'll do that now. I've been really fretting over what to do with this background, if I should color that background or ignore that background and do my own background. I'm not sure. There's not that much background really to mess with. I mean, okay, there's two things. You have this sun right here. Let me see how much you guys are seeing. You have this sun here, and then you have a few other things around it. There's not that much framing her, and then you have this border outside of here. So I'm trying to decide how I want to finish it off. If I want to like color in the little bits they have to color for the bordering. And then, oh, you know what? I kind of went up too high with this mulberry because I was talking. Sorry. Let me bring the mulberry down because I got to have room for my processed red. What the heck am I doing? All right. Now we'll get the process right out. So, I don't know. I'm kind of torn what to do, but I'll figure it out. I was thinking if I should do all black, like black it out, but I've done that my last couple of pages. But a black background will look awesome with a bunch of shooting stars and maybe some planets or bubbles. But I've done that the last couple of them, but I don't know, we'll see. All right, let's get my blender out and blend this. Okay, and we'll use a little white pencil just to give a little extra highlight there. Okay. And then let's turn our picture again because we need to get into right here. Yeah, you guys know my big spiel about how I was going to turn my this whole thing around. I'm not going to turn it around because look, I keep moving my picture around. So it doesn't matter which way I go when I'm coloring these, does it? So this thing will be turned all kinds of ways. But when I'm done and I want to show it to you, I'll make sure I show it to you like that so you guys can see the final. But I have to turn my picture around or I can't, I don't know, I can't work on it unless I turn it around. Okay, so that was my mulberry. Here's the processed red. Okay, left a little room at the top for my highlight, for my pink, which is the highlight. Okay, and let's blend. And you'll meet some colorists who don't like a blender. Obsessed, okay? I love a blender. If you don't want to have to keep going over things 20 million flipping times, like if that drives you nuts, the blender pencil's awesome. If you're that person who likes to color really, really light and you like to do 20 million strokes over and over and over and over, then you might need a blender once in a while, but you won't use it like I do. So it just kind of depends on what kind of colorist you are. Okay, that looks really pretty. There's these little flowers right here, and I painted them a real light pink. I did that with my watercolor, and you could have just done that with your pink, what do you call this? Just your pink pencil. But I did that with my watercolors. So there's a light pink on these little tiny flowers. And I'm going to take, what am I going to take? I'll take this processed red, yeah. Just kind of I don't even know if you guys are seeing this. It's really, really small. I won't work too much on these because they're really, really small for you to see. There we go. Okay, I need to fill that in right there. What are we going to fill that in with? I have a violet, and there's violet in here, so I'm going to put the violet in here. Yeah, I'm going to fill keep the little seeds up with purple. And then I'll take orchid and just kind of go over that. And this is just for the middle of the flower. Yeah, I think that looks pretty. Okay. Okay, this flower here, and this flower, we have another little bit right there, so that we need to work on. Right there. Okay, so we will use the same colors. In fact, I gotta turn this around. Okay. I can't believe I made that big spiel about how I'm going to turn this film around and all this. And then I ended up turning my work anyway, so what does it matter? I do a lot of mixed media videos too, and I like to turn those around. But you can only do what you can do. And I'm no computer whiz, so to learn the YouTube editor took me enough time. I've tried to learn other editors. Oh my God, I'm a mess. I can do some art, but I cannot do this computer thing. Whew, throws me for a loop. So hopefully YouTube gets their little YouTube editor, their little mini YouTube editor. Wish they would have kept the editor they had because I loved it. But hopefully they get that straightened out. Okay, so let me turn this around so you guys can see it. Make sure we're in frame. Oops. There we go. That looks really, really pretty. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I think we've got all the flowers done. I'm just trying to make sure we got all the flowers. The only thing is we have some little itty bitty little pieces here and there, but they're so small, and for me to get right on them, I'm not going to worry about those, showing you guys those. So let's get to the face. I've been wanting to get to that. Oops, just a second. Let me turn my clipboard. Oh, and I want to show you guys something really quickly. Well, I'll show it afterwards. My Hannah Lynn, this is out of the Hannah Lynn cover book, as you know, and I didn't get the, I got the digital download. So I kind of want to show you guys what the digital download looks like. It's really, really cool. And you know what, okay, there's a couple things I want to say about this. What I really love about digital downloads rather than having the coloring book is that a lot of the coloring books, I don't know if Hannah Lynn's, because I haven't bought any of hers, I've only digitally downloaded them, but a lot of times they'll have pictures on both sides. So if you use watercolors or use markers, you're going to see the other side, right? So you really need to make a copy of it. Sometimes the paper's not that great. I do have to say, I'm not sure about the Hannah Lynn paper, but I have this other coloring book, this Jasmine Beckett, and her paper, I love it. I loved using her paper and the Jasmine Beckett. But when you copy them off yourself, you can use whatever paper you want. So I used cardstock, and that's working out really well. So the benefits are is you don't have prints on both sides, and you can use a thicker paper. So that's really nice. So, and then when I'm done with, my goal is to color all the Hannah Lynn pictures, or at least all the ones that I really want to color, which is almost all of them. And I have some really pretty binders I gotten from Dollar Tree and from another dollar store. I have a pink sparkly binder, and all my Hannah Lynn's going to go in that binder. So that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so let's start on this face. See, if I was going to turn my film, turn my camera, turn this whole thing around when I'm done, it would be for this face, because I would rather not do the face opposite from you guys, but we'll see how it works. We'll see. All right, so what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to use this because I want to do a darker skin tone, and I love first using, it's called Tinsel, and it's by Jane Davenport. I'm definitely more of a mixed media person, more than just coloring. I do mix things up a little bit. I like to use a watercolor base and then pencils on top. Okay. And some people like to use markers for a base and then use pencils on top. And the reason you do that, if you don't know, a lot of people do know who watch this video, but if you don't know, it's because it just saves you the time of having to over and over and over with the pencils, because the pencils can take forever to cover. But if you put a base down first, it won't take as long. So it's really nice that way. Okay. Oh, you know what? I almost messed up. We're not going to do that first. I'm going to put my beige little base on that I like to put on first. So just a second. That looks good. Okay. I almost messed up. So what I like to do is I like to take this Faber-Castell. I'll show you guys. I like to take this Faber Castell right here, Gelato. It's just a beige color, and I like to do the whole face this beige color first. Now let's suppose you don't have this, or you don't feel comfortable using something that has a little bit of wetness to it. You don't use a lot of water, so you'll be fine. But you can use like your Copics or your Spectrum Noir alcohol markers and find a real light beige color and do this. Or you can take your very lightly, you can take your Prismacolor pencils, or whichever pencils you have, and put a base like this on there. I like it because it takes that white page and you're not fighting the white page anymore. If you have a watercolor that has a beige color, you can also use that. I did put these two little lines around for her nose. Also, now most of her pictures, she does the eyes, but here she stopped the eye. Like, I'll show you. She stopped, because oh no, I don't have, I've drawn on all the eyes. Anyway, she stopped the eyeball like 3/4 of the way and left it open, and the same way here. So I went ahead and closed the eyeball, and then she didn't put her, she didn't put the, you know, the, what do you call this? The eye socket around the eye. So I went ahead and put that in. I'm not really sure why. Because her other picture, she has it in. I don't know if it was a misprint or if that's what she does on some of her girls. I don't know. So I just want to let you know that I did do that. And right now we're not worrying about any shading. We're not shading yet. We are just getting rid of that white. Putting a nice base down. And I use this base no matter how dark a skin tone I do. This is just, like I said, to get rid of the white page. Now, if you're going to do a lighter skin tone, this would be a great skin tone to start out with and then shade it from here. I should have said that. But we're going to almost basically completely cover this because we're doing a darker skin tone. Okay? All right. So we're done with that. Are we done with that? Yeah. All right, so we're going to dry this before we go in with then we're going to go in with the Tinsel by Jane Davenport, okay? So let's dry this first. If you don't want to hear the dryer, fast forward. Okay, so next I went ahead and put some of that tinsel, which is what it's called, and added just a little bit of water to it, just so it lightens it up a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. All right, so we're going to start going in, and this is going to be her skin tone. But the highlights that I want to leave on the face, I will leave those out, and I'll let you know when we get there. Okay, right here we're going to leave a little highlight. Right here in the forehead. Okay. I'm bringing this down here. Okay. Okay. And then there's another little highlight right there. And then we'll do it here. And as it's drying, it looks kind of like a mess. Don't worry, it dries really nicely. Just a second, you guys. I hear somebody at my door. So I'm gonna go into that. So talk among yourself or fast forward my video. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, sorry, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, and then let's go down to the neck here. Put some color in. Okay, I left a little highlight there. And on her shoulder, we'll leave another little highlight right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and dry this. You got everything? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and dry this. We may go over it again, we may not, but let's go ahead and dry it and see what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna go back over this with a light second coat just to smooth things out a little bit. Usually it goes on smoother than that, which I'm a little bit surprised. So let me just kind of go over some things here. And sometimes it's because it's not completely dry yet. So what I did is I just took that same color and I I took that same color and I just made it really, really light. Just so we can go through it and just smooth things out just a little bit more. It's weird because I usually don't have a problem with it drying not very smooth like that. Okay, there we go. So let's let that, let's dry it again. Okay, that looks good. All right, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to take this gelato again and see the highlighted spots. I want to go over those highlighted spots with a little bit of a gelato, and that'll just blend in the highlights without coloring them in, just to blend them in just a little bit more, because right now they stand out a little too much, and that'll just help them stand out as much. And they look weird now, but they won't. Okay, so now we're going to go in with pencil. Put all that away. Put this away. Put that right there. Have a drink. Okay, so now we're going to go in with some pencils. And we're going to go in with, we're going to start shading with sienna brown. Then we're going to deepen the shading on the outsides with dark brown. And then we'll blend everything together with a light peach. So here we go. You know what, let me just dry those highlights again real quick. And some people ask, you know, is there a little bit of wrinkling with your paper? There's a tiny bit, but once you get all these layers on, it flattens it all out. Plus, I heard a girl say that she likes to iron hers. So you can iron it a little bit if it's really bothering you. Let me put my glasses on. But usually it lays just really nice and flat by the time I'm done with all these layers of pencil and everything. So. I'm doing a pretty light pressure on this because I already have a base down, so you don't have to go too heavy with your pencil. I'm going to do some shading right in there. Okay, and we'll do some nice shading in here. We'll do some nice shading there. And this whole area will shade. And you kind of, where you shade is when a shadow is created, right? And shadows can definitely be created underneath all these flowers, right? On her head. So that's why I'm really putting a nice shadow into here. Okay. All right, so let's take our blender pencil. Where the heck is it? Here it is. Wipe it off, like kind of scribble it onto a white piece, another piece of paper to make sure that you don't have any of that red left over from when we did the flowers. And then start blending this out. Cool. Okay, I think that looks good. And then let's take this dark brown and right on the edge, we're going to deepen this just on the edge. Really, right here in the corner, deep here in that little area right there, deepen that pretty good. And get real good right in there with this brown right there. Okay, and we're going to blend that in. Okay, and then let's take, that looks good. And then let's take this beige pencil and just start blending from the last color to the skin color. Just put a nice little light blending right there. And I mean real light with the pencil. Like you're barely touching the paper. It just gives you that extra little blending right there. That looks good. Okay, so now let's go ahead and keep going. Turn my glasses back on. Okay. Aren't these the cutest readers? I got those from Dollar Tree. Aren't those adorable animal print? Flippin' love these. Okay. You guys are like, what does it have to do with this picture? Nothing. I just like these glasses. You know what? I'm going to erase something. And I'll tell you why in a second. See right here how I put in the pencil here? I'm erasing that. And let me tell you why. We're going to put eyeshadow on her. And I'm going to use watercolor for the eyeshadow. And if I put the pencil there, the pencil will stop the watercolor. So, or no, I'm actually not going to do watercolor. I'm going to do eyeshadow. I'm going to do a pencil. But at any rate, I still don't want to have to fight that brown there. So you can save yourself a lot of trouble if you kind of can pre-plan some things. If you know you're going to do something. Something's on my, it's on the paper there. All right, so now let's blend this out. Or actually, yeah. Well, you know, let's put the, we're gonna do it the same. I'm trying to think if I want to do it at the same time. No, let's try it. Let's put the dark right now on the very edge. It's just to add a little bit more deepening. Okay, now let's go ahead and blend out. And I like to use a circular motion. I believe that that blends it out really nicely. And I'm gonna bring this out just a little bit more right here. That shading, okay? And we'll blend it out. Okay, then let's go ahead and take our beige pencil. Is it beige? Light peach. And just with a very light stroke, just blend that edge. Just a little bit. At the same time, go over just the edge of that lightest brown color of the shading that we did. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to take and put a little bit of this on here. Okay. And again, I'm not going to shade right here because I'm going to put some eyeshadow right there, so we don't want to shade that. Okay. Okay, then let's go ahead and come down here on the neck. Okay. We'll put a little bit of the dark. And whenever you see these little, like, little sections here, you can really darken those out because there's little deep shadows there. Okay. And then let's throw some shadows again here. Hey, are you guys seeing this? Yeah, thank goodness. Right there, okay. Okay. I'm going back over here to this one. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing some blending that needs to definitely happen. That looks better. And then let me take a little bit of this beige color here and blend it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now let's take this dark color here and put some shade, darker shadows in on the edges here. Deepen in there. Really deepen in there. Okay. All right, let's start blending out. That looks good. Very light feather, just take it and just make another, just blend it out just a little bit on that edge. I'm trying to decide if I want to throw in a little bit of a, I want to throw in a little bit of a shadow right here. And I do. I'm already doing it, saying, I wonder if I want to throw a little bit of a shadow in, just for the nose. Okay. But you have to be really, really careful with her nose because there is, and I couldn't figure it out yesterday when I practiced on her for a little while before I did this video. She has, there's a lot of length between her nose and her eyes, a little bit longer than normal. So when you throw in the shadows, a lot of times her face just has different proportions. A lot of times when you throw in these shadows, you throw them all the way up into here, where the eyebrows are at. But her eyebrows are way up here, so they have to travel too far. So you can just throw in some shadows if you want right in here. I'm just trying to make sure if I'm going to leave these shadows or not. I did it on my last girl and I liked it, so I just making sure if I like it or not. Yeah, I think we're going to leave them. Okay, we'll decide if we're going to leave them here in a little bit. Okay, let's put some eyes in. Let's get her eyes going. What color am I doing her eyes? Oh yeah, I'm going to do them. Okay, I'm going to use this beautiful green color right here. It's Jane Davenport's Jimmy. I call it Jiminy Cricket. That's what it reminds me of. Okay. You guys hear that? That motorcycle was loud. Unless that was a car, but I think that was a motorcycle. Okay. Beautiful. And also, at the same time, very, very lightly, you're going to water down that green color. Very watered down. Very, very watered down. We're going to take a little bit of green and just put it on the outsides of this eye. Just a little bit, like the color got into the whites of the eye a little bit. Okay? So I just did a little bit. You probably can't even see it on camera. Okay, now let's dry this, and then we're going to use pencil to shade in the eyes. Okay, just want to turn her around so you guys can see how she's looking. I think she's looking good. Okay, so let me turn this around. Okay, all right, so here's what we're going to do to the eyes. Where are my greens? I know I have them out. I like to prep everything. Okay, so the three colors I'm going to use is I'm going to use olive green, I'm going to use grass green, and then this chartreuse, which is one of my favorite colors. In the very deep corners, I'm going to use this olive green. And this is just to give the eyes some really nice depth. So we're going to do it on both sides. We don't put very much, just up in the corners where it would probably be darker in the eyeball. Right, right. Okay, and then we're going to take the grass green. And we're really going to bring that out to about right here. Because we need to leave room for blending, and we want that we want this chartreuse to be in the center. That's what's really going to bring the eye alive, is that light center. And let's deepen that a little bit. Okay. Okay, and then let's deepen this green that's in the corner just a little bit. I'm an eBay reseller, so hopefully that meant that, not that someone just made an offer, that someone bought something and paid for it. Okay, so then let's take our blender pencil and start blending out. Now I want to leave a little bit more space right there, so I'm going to erase it a little bit because I could have given myself a little bit more room. Okay. You want to leave a little bit of that green right in here. That's like super important. That's what really keeps your eye alive. Okay, and then blend it again. Perfect. And let me just deepen this up in here a little bit more. Make this a deeper green. Okay. And then take your chartreuse color and really define that in the middle. Kind of go over the green that you just did, the grass green. Beautiful. Doesn't that make for a pretty eye? It's one of my favorite color combinations. Love it. Okay. Very, very pretty. Okay, so let me turn that around so you guys can see that. Make sure that I'm in frame. Doesn't that look so pretty with her eyes? Okay, so let me turn that back around. Okay. And then the next thing I want to do with her eyes is I want to, we're going to add some, we're going to add the catch lights here in a second, but I want to first add some eyelashes to the bottom. Do I want to use this right here? Or just a second, I'm deciding which tool I'm using, which pen. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. So see how her eyelashes, they go out like this. So if you follow that, you can keep going with the eyelashes like that. Okay, and then here the eyelashes go out like that. So I'm going to keep following that eyelash like that. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. And then I want to deepen with my black pencil. I want to just go over her eyebrows again because we kind of messed them up with a lot of watercolor and pencil or whatever. So just deepen those and blacken those out a little bit. Okay, now those are deepened again. That looks good. And let's deepen this line here. Back. Okay. Let me turn my work a little bit. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to deepen the eyeball again. Just make sure that's nice and dark. Okay. Let me just take this. And let's take the pencil to this too. This needs to be deepened up too. Okay, let's do the same thing here. And I just heard something on my camera, so hopefully you guys are still there. Hopefully I'm still recording. Don't you hate that when you're doing something and you can't look up at your camera and you hear something like maybe it went off? You're like, no, no, don't go off. Okay. Gorgeous. Okay, it's just saying that I'm getting low on battery, which isn't good, so we might have to have a part 2 on this. But we'll go as far as we can. You guys, if it cuts off, just go to part 2. So let's just work as long as we can go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to add some catch lights. And that's the magic right there that really makes the eye, are the catch lights. Like I said, we're just going to keep working, and if my camera just turns off, you guys just go to part 3. Okay, so I should have charged my camera up a little bit more. I was like 3/4. And to do a video like this, you really need to have fully charged. Even 1/4 of it not being charged makes a difference. Okay, I'm trying to get my brush right for these catch lights. So I'm just trying to get the right amount of paint. Okay. So we want to throw in catch lights like this. Oh, geez. What is the deal with my brush? And I'm using a liner brush. And my liner brush may be getting old, so I may need to pull out another one. We'll see here. If I'm getting on your nerves too much, just please fast forward. Sorry about that. There's only so much you can do when things don't want to work. You're like, come on. Okay, and I'm going to throw another catch light in here. Another one right there. Okay. These are like the smallest things you can do, but the most effective things you can do is throwing these catch lights in the eyes. That looks cool. Alright, I'm going to show you guys something else. I'm going to blush these cheeks, and I'm going to show you a product that you can blush cheeks with so nicely. You can use pencil, you can use markers, but I love this stuff. It is Jane Davenport's, it's like a pan pastel. This is what it looks like. It's really small, and you'll feel like it's too small for the money, but use a coupon. It's well worth it. It's nice. So, I'm going to take this color right here, and we're going to blush the cheeks. And what happens is it blends out so beautifully, you guys. You don't have to use anything else. You don't have to use like 3 or 4 colors for it to blend. It's just, it's like a, I believe, I haven't used pan pastels, but it's, to me, it's like a pan pastel. It just blends out beautifully. You can also use this on the lips too. We're actually not going to use this on the lips today, but you can, and I have. Look how cool that looks. I love me a real rosy, blushy cheek. There we go. So there's the cheeks. Look how pretty that looks. Love it. Okay, that looks really good. We're going to throw catch lights on the cheeks too here in a second, but I wanted to put those out there so you can see those. I'll show you something else with the eyes that I want to do. Take my Posca. I'm trying to think if I want it to be any more. You know what, before I do that, I actually want the liner here on the bottom to be a little bit thicker. Okay. Oh, I should not do that without my readers on. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to take my Posca. Let's see where we're at with time. And I'm going to put little dots. I just think it really adds something special. Now this isn't the, this pen isn't the, like the most fine point. So you just have to touch it real lightly. Okay. And we'll do some here on the top too. Like I said, you guys, if we run out of time, which we're going to, just go to part 3. And part 3, don't worry, part 3 won't be too long because we're almost done now. But it'll be important to watch though. It'll be the finishing touches of things. And those aren't things you have to do. I'm just getting crazy and I just love it. I've seen other girls do that a long time ago in some other videos. And I was like, oh, I love that. And I almost add it to every girl. I add more eyelashes, the whole thing. The lips, I'm going to give a very pretty purple. Are you guys seeing the lips? Yeah. A very pretty purple, this color right here. It's called Mystic. On the lips. And then we are going to do a shading with this pencil here, Orchid. I've done this for lips tons of times. It comes out beautiful. Okay. Okay, let me just dry this real quick. So I'm taking Orchid and just like a lip liner, just going around the lip, just like we do a lip liner. Okay, and then let's take our blender and blend it out. That looks really, really pretty. And we're also going to throw a catch light on her lips. We'll throw a catch light on her cheeks. So let's take a, where's my brush that I want to use? This is like a very stiff brush. I love it for catch lights. I love it for making clouds. A stiff brush like this makes a lot of good stuff, but it will do a catch light perfectly. And actually, I'm going to use the small, my liner brush for the catch light for the lips. So I have a little bit more control. Okay, so just that little catch light there. Now, but for the catch light for the cheeks, I am going to use this. So this kind of a scruffy brush, it works, it's a stiff brush. It works so good for stuff like that. It has a perfect little for the cheeks. Okay, you guys, we're getting low on time. My camera is about to turn off. So I love how this turned out. I think, okay, there we go. I love how she turned out. Let me come out, let me bring it in. I think that she turned out really, really pretty. Okay, and I'm not sure